and they sent on their way from the 1400 meter marker. The private jumped very nicely as one of the early leaders early on. Wyandotte Sea is right there. On the outside, Black Samurai, What a Storm with a perfect position in the blue silks near the rail. Queensberry Rules between runners, full counters on the inside. Further back in the run is Wolf Killer. That's giving him about 6 or 7 lengths start. Then Q behind me. Behind that is Royal Bodyguard and Black Devon. Wyandotte Sea is allowed to control the pace, leads it by 2. The private is back in second. In third position is Black Samurai. What a Storm's in the blue, 4 or 5 lengths off the leader. Then Queensberry Rules and Full Count. Further back is Q behind me, and then comes Black Devon. It's about 8 lengths off the leader, Wolf Killer and Royal Bodyguard. Top of the lane, I tell you what, a Storm's come under a ride now. Your favourites come under a ride in the blue silk. And the leader is Wyandotte Sea. The private moves in. On the outside, Queensberry Rules. What a Storm's under pressure. Full count, Q behind me. Still Wyandotte Sea, the leader. The private puts on the pressure. Queensberry Rules is on the outside, Q behind me. But the private's hit the front, and the private's going on to win it. The private has won it. Queensberry Rules second. Third, Wyandotte Sea, then Q behind me. So this was the last race. We took the commingling with France, and the win pool jumped to 723,000. Number 1, the private, is the winner. This the Braveton Soldier, Ashton Aries, Michael Roberts for Crow and Werner Roberts, and bred by Summerhill Stud. So luckily just made it because they examined, and he ends up winning about a length and a half. Second position, Queensberry Rules, number 5. Wyandotte Sea, number 7, runs third. Q behind me, number 4. What a Storm came by an early pressure as they turned for home. That was the toad favourite. Then Royal Bodyguard, Wolf Killer. Further back in the field was Black Devon and Black Samurai. So the winner is 2 off the left-hand side, the white sleeves and the spots on the cap, and that is the private, the Braveton Soldier, and it pays up at 480. Queensberry Rules, Wyandotte Sea, Q behind me, and the toad favourite, as I say, number 3. That place accumulator pool is at what? At just about 550,000 Rand. Next up is the 4th race, and that is the start of the Pick 6. Back to the studio.
Well, lucky for all that, number 1, the private, has come back in one piece. Very difficult at the start. We'll have a chat to Michael Roberts about it. Michael's going to step into the box here. And let's get down to the nitty-gritty. When you've got a horse like this, you've spent the money, you've spent the time, and then things go wrong at the start.
Sheldon, we spent a lot of money on this horse to get him ready for the start and everything like this. I went before the race to the stipes and asked them, please load this horse last. It was ignored. And you know, to me, it's horses are getting hurt. Every week you get a horse that gets scratched at the start, and you tell the people about, listen to us, we work with the horses every day of our lives. I mean, the way they're doing this, they're going to get horses injured, and jockeys are going to get injured. And I mean, you know, it's not the first time. The horse got a record. He's been warned off. He had to be passed at the course.
You had Glyn work with him, get him there, and really get him righted up.
Glenn worked with him. We spent a fortune with Glenn, you know, trying to get a horse right. And, you know, then you go there beforehand with you don't want an advantage. All you want is the best for the animal. Yeah, the animal come first, you know, and then this happens. I could see what was going to happen. He begged me, Ashton, before the race, please go to the start and ask him. He won't stand. He's been riding through the gates. And, you know, it's just annoying. It's just because it's common sense.
The main thing is that he's come back. He was the original favourite, so for the punters out there, was going off the favourite. He's managed to get into the winner's box, and it just showed his ability on the track.
Yes, he's you know, unfortunately, like I say, he hasn't raced much because of the stalls problems we've had, and you know, there is a bit of ability there, and I think he'll still improve. He's only at 3 runs, as you know, this is 4th today. But a big thank you to Tommy Crow. You know, he stuck with me, and you know, I said to him, sorry, you know, it's costing us money to keep. and with the horse whisperer working with him. But I think we can win a maiden with him, which he done nicely today. And well done for to Ashton. It's tough for them in the pens when horses, when he knows the history of the horse, and he did well. And thank you to my staff and everybody else. Thank you.
Please go get an ice-cold Coke and relax. Obviously, you've got to thank the family.
Yes, and thank you to my wife. She owns half of them with us. And a big thank you to all concerned. Thank you. Thanks.
Let's get Ashton Aries in on the private. And obviously, when you're down at the gates there and they get re-examined, that you on the back of the horse, and you just got to try and keep your composure and hope things don't go horrid at the gate.
Yes, you got a bit restless. But when they trot him out, he was sound, so we're lucky for that. And he won a nice race.
Okay, let's get beyond this horse, the private. You got a horse called Parallelogram coming up later. Expecting that one to go close to winning?
Yes, last time she was a bit unlucky. She had a bit of a drove to overcome. And I got 3 wide and she started in second. So today she's drawn 1. I give her a big chance.
Well done.
Thank you very much. I just want to say a big thank you to the academy and the staff, and to Mr. Roberts and to the owners for all the support.
Super.
Thank you.
Well, there we have it. Number 1, the private, eventually comes through. We saw the drama down at the gates, and with all the trainers and the responsible parties, they'll get together, they'll have a chat about this. But number 1, the private, luckily he's come through unscathed, and he has come through into the winner's box.